Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Progress with number 51 in the series Viewers Games. This one is from Daniel from Poland. Hi Rick, my name is Daniel, I'm from Poland. I'm your viewer and subscriber since the beginning of your channel and I really appreciate its content. I want to send you some of my games which I consider to be quite nice. I'm not such a strong player but not a beginner either, and even though I can play chess since primary school, I started to get better about a year and a half ago, and all of these are games I played in 2017. This is a game played on chess.com in which I'm creating a mating net around my enemy's king thanks to his inaccurate opening play. This game shows how important it is not to go pawn hunting early in the game, but rather develop your pieces and castle. I hope this game will be instructive for the viewers and that you'll enjoy it. Daniel. I'm sure we will, Daniel. Let's have a look at your game. Daniel was black in this game. His opponent opened e4. The time control was 15 minutes for the game, plus a 10-second increment per move. The same time control as in the World Rapid Championships 2017. Daniel played e5, the classical answer to e4, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop b5, the Ruy Lopez, the Spanish opening. a6, and Daniel's opponent decides to take, the exchange variation of the Ruy Lopez. D takes, and this is a poison pawn that white takes. It looks like that pawns are protected and white has just won a pawn, but we have to look further. Castling is the move here, the main move, but knight takes e5 was played by white, and Daniel found the way to play. Queen d4 is the move, attacking both the pawn and the knight, and black will win the pawn back straight away. Knight f3 hitting the queen, queen takes e4 check, and queen e2 makes more sense as white is going to offer a queen trade on the next move anyway, but white decided to play king f1. Knight f6 from Daniel developing. There's the queen trade offer. Daniel accepts it. Knight takes back. That knight was developed to f3, now goes back to e1. That knight made lots of moves already. Bishop c5. Daniel has an advantage in development and has a better position. c3. Daniel in his comments calls this a waste of a move. Not necessarily. After Daniel castled, he played d4. And that's not a bad move. c3 and d4 makes sense here. But then you have to start developing these pieces and also find a way of your king to get out of the way of the rook on h1. Bishop went to d6, knight d3, that's a good developing move. Rook e8, also a good move. And here a mistake from white, but we understand what he's trying to do. Daniel comments here, one of his biggest mistakes was 13 g3, possibly with the idea of king f1 to g2 and rook h1 to e1, freeing the rook. But this allowed bishop h3 check, creating a mating net and also trapping his rook for the whole game. So it was like he was playing a rook down. And those are comments from Daniel and they are very accurate. What white should have played here is a move like bishop e3, developing that bishop. But he made a mistake, g3, he had not, sorry for those arrows, let me get rid of them. He had not seen that now bishop h3 was coming and that you only have one square for your king. You cannot go to the e-file, so you have to go to g1. And indeed, this rook is now completely boxed in. It's like white is playing a rook down. Black has an overwhelming advantage here already. c5, f4, and here rook e2 is the strongest move with terrible threats. For example, let's look at a variation. If you play knight d2, developing that piece, then there is either bishop g2, and you will actually win that rook in the corner. Of course, you can ask yourself, do I really want to win that rook? It's not playing anyway. So after knight d2, you can also play the very strong rook g2 check. And after king f1, which is the only move, we can win a piece here, because white is not allowed to take back, because it is check. So rook e2 would have been very, very strong here, but the way Daniel plays is fine as well. He took on d4, c takes d4, and knight g4. Knight e5, playing with a piece that was already developed, while many of white's pieces are still undeveloped. All these pieces are still not playing, and white decides to play with the piece, the only piece that has been developed. Daniel decides to take that active piece, so now white has no active pieces at all left. D takes e5 and rook e d8 on the open file. Knight c3, developing finally. Rook d3 infiltrating, and now white wants to develop his bishop, but he gives up the crucial squares d2 and e3. b3 to develop the bishop to b2, rook a d8, now all Daniel's pieces are playing, and bishop b2, losing control of these two squares, as I said, and that will give Daniel the chance to finish the game very, very quickly. There's a forced checkmate on the board already. Here Daniel played b5, but he could have played rook d2 with the threat of knight e3 and then rook g2 checkmate. When the rook is on g2, this knight would take the f1 square away, and there's really nothing that white can do against this. But as said, Daniel played b5 and knight e2, now losing control of the d1 square, which leads to another mate. Mate in 2, rook d1 check, rook d1, and rook takes d1 is checkmate. Checkmate on the back rank. The bishop taking the g2 square away and the knight taking the f2 square away from white's king. 23 moves. Very quick win from Daniel, and he was right with his comments. White should not have gone pawn hunting in the opening, taking on e5, and then because of poor development, not developing his pieces, not bringing his pieces into the game, Black was able to win this game very quickly. Thank you, Daniel, for sharing this game with the Chess to Progress community, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Chess to Progress channel. Please leave a comment, and if you liked it, it would be great if you could share the video on social media. You also may want to check out my Chess to Impress channel. The link is in the description box. This is Rick for Chess to Progress. Thank you for watching.